Is it on?
Yeah, so you go ahead.
What?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I don't know what. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not really.
Whatever.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Hello there. Welcome to James Arnold Taylor's Talking to Myself, the podcast. That's me, James Arnold Taylor. That's Hank, the engineer, who is, always there, ready for me to push a button and to record.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say.
I was kidding. A lot going on. First off, let's make sure. Ooh, water. Huh? Got a big glass of water? So if you're listening to the James Arnold Taylor podcast, there's a couple things we'd like to do. And all of you that are listening regularly know this, so sorry I'm repeating myself, but we have a nice big cup of water. That's good water. And we say, that's good water, because it is good water. Water is really good for us. Hang on. Set that down. And we say that as a tribute to my wife's grandmother, who used to have a big glass of water every day, and she'd drink the water, and she'd, that's good water. And she was cute. And so we say that to her abuelita, that we give a little, just a little homage to her. So, welcome to the James Arnold Taylor podcast. We should bring in Mr. Announcer Guy who announces the show and get on with it, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I'm trying out a new thing.
Hank, what is that device?
It's a new podcasting device.
Podcasting device?
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, it's not.
All right, anyway, okay, so I'm going to
I don't know why. Okay, is that hooked up to the microphones?
Yeah, it's hooked up to the microphone. I'm going to push that right there.
Whoa. Wow, listen to that. Hey, that's pretty cool. Okay, Hank. Oh, you sound funny. you sound even higher. You're going to break glass. You're so high-pitched your voice. All right, okay, stop that. Look, it really, honestly. Would you turn that off? I'm not going to. What, are you crazy? This is the best you ever sounded. Okay, this is not funny at all. What is this device that you have? It's a new podcasting device. Podcasting. You're high pitch. Hi. Okay, stop it. Hey, maybe Billy. Hey, Billy! Oh, yes, Mr. James, sir, yes. Whoa, hey. Whoa, he's even higher. Well, yes, no, I was just saying, yes, you both sound a little funny. I was in the other room and I could hear through the speakers, and you both sound a little higher, and I think I sound very high-pitched now, too. Yeah, it's something that Hank, would you turn it off? Come on. You should bring in Mr. Announcer Guy to see what he sounds like. Okay, I will. That's not a bad idea. Hey, Mr. Announcer Guy! Yes, ooh, listen to me. I sound almost as high-pitched as you. All right, okay, come on. I don't have that high-pitched voice. Well, I mean, I do have a high-pitched voice right now because Hank is doing it. Hank, turn it off. It's too good. I cannot turn it. Come on. Hey, Mr. Announcer Guy, announce the show. Okay. All right, yeah, Mr. Announcer Guy, would you announce the show? Humor him? Yeah, dude. All right. Hey, Jerry the Music Man, cue that music.
You got it, Mr. Announcer Guy. Hey, I sound funny too.
Okay, we all sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. This is crazy. Cue the music. No, even the music's pitched up. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's the James Arnold Taylor podcast. Talking to myself, the JATcast. On today's show, Jet's voice is gonna go even higher than usual. Ha ha. Now here he is, the same guy that's doing all the voices you're hearing, including this one, James Arnold Taylor. Okay. Well, this is silly. Hank, turn it off. Not a chance. Hey, have Obi Schmoby Gobi come in here and do that. Hello there. That's all high-pitched. You want Obi-Wan Kenobi to come in and sound high-pitched, don't you? Hey, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. If only. Gosh. Hello there. Oh, my goodness. James, what's going on here? Hank has got this device that he hooked up to the microphones, and everybody sounds all high-pitched and funny now. Oh, dear. I have a bad feeling about this. Can you use the Jedi mind trick on him or something? Your Jedi mind tricks don't work with me. I'm like Watto. Well, I can give it a shot. You will adjust the pitch, Hank. This is not the pitch you're looking for. Oh, I will adjust the pitch. This is not the pitch I am looking.
For.
Wait a second. Oh, now, okay, but now this is the opposite. This is the opposite. Now we sound low. Now we're all like Jabba the Hutt. Ho, 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 ho. Hey, Jabba Waminchiko. I sound like Jawas the Hutt. No, it's Jabba the Hutt, not Jawas. Jawas are different. They sound pitched up. They go, ooh, teeny. That still doesn't sound right. Come on, Hank. Obi-Wan, little help? I believe you're on your own. Ooh, boy, I sound like Jedi Master Plo Koon now. I believe you're on your own now, James. Goodbye there. Oh, great, thanks. Hey, you should bring in Johnny Test and see what he sounds like pitched down now. Johnny Test. Okay, yeah, bring in my other character, Johnny Test. Okay. Hey, Johnny.
Yeah, hey, James. Woo, hey, whoa. What's happening to my voice? Have I finally reached that time to change? I sound totally awesome.
You sound really weird and creepy.
Yeah, like I said, I sound totally awesome.
All right, Hank, would you just put it all back so we can just get on with the show? Billy, can you help him out?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. James. I'm looking for I sound quite funny too now. I'm looking for the button, but let me see.
Now, you guys, come on, man. You're ruining all the fun. Hey, Mr. Announcer Guy, say something while you're still like that. Say, I'm gonna go now. Yes, Hank. Ooh, well, I'm really low now. I'm going to go now. Would you give me that?
Okay. Back to normal. All right. Thank you, Hank.
Yeah, okay, let me...
No. You leave that here. I'll be in control of that button.
All right, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah. And there's the music. Well, welcome to the James Arnold Taylor Podcast. My goodness, what a way to start the show. Oh, that Hank. It's a strange little world living in this padded room, all alone, talking to myself with these voices in my head. Hey, I should give you all an update on everything that's been going on. So the last couple of weeks, I went and did some ComicCons with my dear friends and castmates, Ashley Eckstein and Matt Lanter, and we had a special guest with us, Anna Graves, the Duchess Satine, came and joined us in Nashville for the ICCC Comic-Con, which was a lot of fun. We had a great time, everybody getting to see each other again. And it's just been very cool. You know, so Matt and Ashley, I talked about this on the last podcast. Matt and Ashley and I are going to be doing some Comic-Cons together throughout this next year or so. So be looking for us. Let Comic-Cons know that you want us there. And maybe we'll show up. Maybe, you never know. Maybe you use the Jedi mind trick on them and say, but contact the Comic-Cons in your area and say, we want the Clone Wars cast to come to your Comic-Con, and get as many people as you can to say that. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll show up at your Comic-Con. You never know. That's how it'll work. So a big thanks to everybody that joined us at the Comic-Cons. If you are one of the amazing folks, I would say thousands of people that I've got to meet over the last couple of weekends, meeting people at Comic-Cons again. You know, so much fun. I hadn't done shows in a long time, and I gotta tell you, I had grown a little weary of it all, the traveling and stuff. And travel is hard on me. It's kind of hard on my ears. I have kind of sensitive ears, which I've mentioned before. So flying is not always my favorite thing, but some of these I can drive to, which is nice. And I just do my best. But it's really worth it to see all of you and to get to meet people. And there's so many people now that have grown up on Clone Wars that it's really just... It's so touching to all of us to get to hear stories, to get to look you in the eye and, you know, give you a fist bump or a handshake or what have you, and say thank you, and you say thank you to us. And, you know, we're just blessed. We're very, very blessed to get to do this stuff. So I'm looking forward to the next bit of shows that we do. I don't know if anything's been announced yet, so I won't say anything yet. But I was hoping that Matt and I could have made it to this one in Orlando that Ashley's going to be at, MegaCon. But it's a little too late, I think, for that. And so I think my family and I are going to actually try to go on a little vacation. Have not gone on a vacation in 5 or 6 years now. We went to Hawaii, I think 6, maybe almost even 7 years ago. I don't know. It was a long time ago. In a galaxy far, far away, in a state far, far away. And we went to Hawaii and we had a wonderful time, but we have not been anywhere in a long time. So we kind of spontaneously are planning a vacation in the next few weeks, which will be fun. And also because my daughter is now 17 and she's getting older, this is kind of like one of our last ones as a family before she's all grown up, because she's driving now. And wow, it's just, the world just changed. I should have her back on. I've been threatening to have her back on as a guest here on the James Arnold Taylor podcast. So we will do that soon. Lydia Rose Taylor, my daughter, superstar that she is, we'll have her on the show again soon and talk to her and see how she's dealing with life and things and all of that, since all of this crazy world has been the way that it's been. But yeah, so many people to thank for coming out to see me at the Comic-Cons. My dear friend Logan Seculo and his family. He's just a wonderful human being, and his wife Amanda is on a podcast with Melissa Joan Hart that they have, What Women Binge. Great podcast. You all should check it out, especially you ladies. It's just fun. Now, I've been a Melissa Joan Hart fan since Clarissa Explains It All, way back in the old days. And then, of course, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So they did at ICCC, the Comic-Con, they did an episode of the podcast that was with Ashley Eckstein. So it was really just all worlds combining and coming together. And so they came by and said hello and came into our little room. We had like a little room that we were all in at this con and signing together. So that was really exciting. It was wonderful to see my friend Ian McDermott again, who of course plays the Emperor. I got to see Anthony Daniels very briefly. Anthony does not like to be disturbed, so I don't always disturb him. I let him do his thing, but I gave him a little wave. But Sir Ian, as I call him, Ian McDermott, was wonderful to see, and Stuart, his manager, is a wonderful guy. So great to see everybody there. My friend Craig Batts, who is a pastor out in Tennessee and a wonderful man, and we met at a Comic-Con. It was Star Wars fan days, I think, in Texas years ago. He was dressed as yours truly, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he had this wonderful Obi-Wan lightsaber hilt that was like the real deal replica one. And I remember asking him about that, and we got to talking, and then I found out he was a pastor. We're both Christians. We just started talking about God, and we started talking about life. We started talking about music. We started talking about, he had befriended the guys from Casting Crowns, and so we were talking about that, and we've been friends ever since. I mean, that was years and years ago. And so now we live similarly in close proximity of each other. So we get to see each other and have coffee and talk about life and talk about the Lord and talk about different things and pray for each other, pray for the world, pray for all of you. And so I got to see him and his family. They came out and saw my stage show, because I did kind of a cut down version of my stage show. I only had about 45 minutes. So normally the show is like 70 minutes, 70 to 80 minutes. So it was twice as long usually. And the week prior at Kansas City Comic-Con, the Planet Comic-Con, I got to do pretty much the whole show. So I did a cut-down version, but Craig and his family came out and saw the show. So thanks to the Batts family, and so wonderful to meet all of them. And then they gave me gifts, which is great. Look, I don't expect people to give me gifts. And in fact, when I'm traveling, it's like it doesn't work. But they gave me gifts that I if I had been traveling, which I wasn't because the Comic-Con was local in Tennessee here, they gave me T-shirts that they made for me. And they were the JATcast shirts. One says, know what you believe and why you believe it. And then another one, which is great, which was how we started the show. It was a glass of water, and it says, that's good water. So thank you to the Batts family for the T-shirts. I really enjoy them, and I'm hoping that Hank doesn't try to take them and wear them, because they will not fit Hank. They will not fit, and that's a sight to see if Hank would put them on. But anyways, so thank you. So we got to meet them, got to see everybody there, got to see my friends the Seculos, and who else? Well, of course, Anna Graves, which I had not seen the Duchess Satine in quite a while, so I got to hang out with Anna. We went to dinner, her and my wife and daughter and I, at a restaurant that we love, and that was very nice, and it was just great to see her. She was sitting next to me all the time, so we would sign things together. We had a couple of Obi-Wan Satine shots that people would get, like they'd get her signature and then they get my signature, and it's
The circle is now complete.
and all of that. And then we had over on my right side, I had Matt, and then across from me was Ashley. So I was just surrounded by my Clone Wars family, and I love all these people so much, and it's just so great. All we needed now was, Catherine Tabor and D. Bradley Baker, and it just would have been, because we got to see Tom Kane when we were in Kansas City, which was wonderful to see my friend Tom, and we got to get D. Bradley Baker, doing some shows with us. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh my goodness, the band would be all back together. That's a Beatles reference. We're putting the band back together. Oh, yes. Anyways, okay. So what else? So many people that I got to meet at the Comic-Cons. In Kansas City, I got to meet some wonderful, at both cons, I met many people that are military. And I got to tell you, please, if you come up to meet me at a convention and you're military, please let me know. I know that, people like to be humble about their service and stuff, but I want to be able to, look in the eye, shake your hand and say thank you for your service to this country, because I do not have the freedoms that I have without you doing what you do. And it means the world to me. And I had some wonderful time meeting so many wonderful people that were military families, both spouses, husband and wife in the military, serving. One gal came up and her husband had just been deployed, so he couldn't make it to the con. And so I did a little video message for him, and she was so sweet. And everybody was just so nice, so great. And then lots of law enforcement I got to meet out here in Nashville, which was great. So grateful to meet all of them, and then meet wonderful fans that have just gone through so many different things, and that Clone Wars means so much to them. I remember growing up, Warner Brothers cartoons, Hanna-Barbera cartoons, all of those shows meant a lot to me. I did not grow up in the most idyllic childhood. I did not. So movies and cartoons were my escape from kind of the stuff going on around me. And I was what you call a latchkey kid. I wore the key to our house on a little string that I wore around my neck. So I was on my own a lot. So I would get home, lock the door. That's what they called a latchkey kid. And I would sit, and the TV was kind of my, best friend. And so all these shows. So I understand when people say, look, I grew up watching the Clone Wars. I grew up playing Ratchet and Clank or Final Fantasy, or watching Johnny Test. And so now all these years have gone by in my career, like a blink of an eye, by the way. I'm going to be 53 in a couple of months, which is just nuts, because I was always the kid, and now I'm the old guy. Now I'm the old man, and everybody around me is so much younger. All my Clone Wars castmates, they're so much younger. I mean, like at least 10 years, more than 10 years younger than me. So, I'm the old man that tells stories, but I understand when fans come up and say, thank you, this show got me through. I've had people that got me through divorces, got me through, people saying my parents getting divorced, or families going through tragedies or loss, or just, the isolation even of the last couple of years. People watching these shows, rediscovering Clone Wars and watching them and binging through these shows over the last couple of years while there's been no, outlet to get out and be out. And now people are getting out again as they should. It's the thing I got to say while doing my stage show. I used to, at the end of the show, tell the story of losing my voice and adopting our daughter, and kind of all of the things that came together there, and the things that I thought would break me down actually build me up, because I allow the Lord to, give me strength. And I said, I feel like all of us have gone through a lot now, and a lot of loss, a lot of tragedy, a lot of growth, a lot of everything. So we have to look at these moments as times to build ourselves back up. Okay. So I feel as though anything that you've been beaten up with over the last couple of years, look at it and go, strength training. I've been working muscles out. I've been working out emotional muscles to get stronger and be a better person, and learn who I really am, and what I really want, and what I really need in this life, and what I really will not put up with or tolerate anymore in life as well. And we have to just be able to be outspoken in our own right for what we believe and how we believe it and why we believe it, and just be at peace with that and not feel we have to apologize for anything. This time of isolation and such, we can use it to strengthen ourselves. And so that's why I get to kind of give a little talk about that at the end of my show, saying, use this, be encouraged by this. This was a time to show you, who you are and what you are, and to be stronger in all of that, and to learn and grow and see what you really want in life. I think a lot of people in life are really seeing, how important community is, how important it is to be together, okay, after being so isolated. And while it's fantastic to have shows like Clone Wars and, Johnny Test and games and stuff to do and to escape in, it's wonderful to go out into the world and meet and see each other and get to experience life with each other, and to get outside and to just do more that way. And I hope more people discover that. I hope more people discover ways of getting away from their devices and putting the phone down. I read an interesting article the other day about if you really want to kind of combat all this battle of, almost it's like the Terminator movies, where all this technology is taking over, all this big technology taking over our lives. If you want to kind of combat that in some ways, incrementally, small ways, micro growth in this, put the phone down, at night and in the morning. Like, turn it off an hour before you go to bed, or plug it into a charger in another room. Let it charge, and then you recharge in your room without all the devices around you. I know that's really, really, really hard for a lot of people, especially many of you that have just grown up having a device constantly around you. But I am telling you, I've been doing it ever since reading that article, and I don't have any devices in the bedroom now. And we plug them in our offices. We let them sit in our offices and charge for the night, and then get up in the morning and read from an actual book. I used to read, my Bible app and stuff right then, and now I get up, I breathe, I do my deep breathing. I still do all that. Deep breathing exercises, drink some water, hydrate the body, but sit up and just read. I personally read the Bible. That's what I do. And the first thing in the morning, I'll start with like the Psalms or something, just to kind of, it's like singing a song and getting ready for the day and thanking God for the breath I have in me and the bones that I have to move around and all of that. And not just going directly to that device, you see. So very important, something that I think all of us should be doing. Just like considering, not having a billion streaming services. I've canceled some of my streaming services recently, getting rid of some of these things that are just not making sense to have anymore. And so, and not spending time on devices. We've had so many months and months and years now of just being like forced to be kind of like on these devices. So taking that time, getting out there, going to ComicCon, seeing other people, meeting people, hearing people's stories, talking about it, but looking at all of it, okay? All of it as ways to grow us and make us into better, stronger people, and to really know what we believe and why we believe it and walk in that and trust in that. The church that I go to, the pastor has talked about, we've been so overly polite about things that I don't want to offend anybody. So okay. And it's okay to believe what you believe and to be able to say that. And so that's kind of a place of growth for all of us to go, it's okay. I'm just going to live my life. I want to enjoy my life again. So it's just a kind of a crazy time. And of course, we're very prayerful for the world and the Ukraine and all that's going on there. But just all the junk that is trying to overtake all of us, everyday folk that just want to get up, say hi to our neighbors, say hi to the person at the store when you're walking down the street, say hello, and not feel like we can't communicate with each other anymore. That, it's fascinating to see the change. I had to do my stage show here over these last couple of weeks, and in doing it, I realized there was a lot of stuff I needed to change and update just because of the last couple of years changing. I don't go to studios anymore. I do everything from here, from my little padded room. So there's just a lot of change in the world, and we need to be able to see how can we grow and strengthen ourselves from all of it? How can we become better people from all of it? Well, taking care of ourselves, for one. Taking care of others, checking in on others, taking care of our elderly, for example, too. Making sure they do not get lost in the mix. And taking care of our little ones and showing them that it's good to be out and with other people, and that people are fun and good to be around. So, we're coming up on, spring is going to be coming to a close. We're getting into summer. I love summer. It's a great time, it's sunshine and be out. So it's just some of my thoughts, just throwing them all out there for all of you. Be encouraged is what I'm trying to say. Okay? Stick to your dreams. Get back to your dreams. Look at all of this as strengthening. You got through this time. You will continue to, okay? And all of the things that beat us up are building up muscles in us, emotional muscles, brain muscles, okay? So look at it that way and go, yes, and what do I believe? And I can embrace that. So that's my little pep talk for you for today on that. But I just was really encouraged by meeting and seeing other people. And so I look forward to meeting people and seeing people at more Comic-Cons as the year progresses. And it should be a good time. So Got a lot of stuff coming up. Maybe even some other, not just Clone Wars type Comic-Cons or signing opportunities for me, but possibly ones with, my buddy David K, a little Ratchet and Clank and stuff too. I don't know. Nothing's been announced yet, but you never know. You never know. There could be some signings coming up. And just, I'm looking for more opportunities to do my stage show. And the nice thing is now the folks I'm working with are really able to get my stage show out there for people to have at the Comic-Con. So when I go and do a Comic-Con, if you're telling people that you want me to come to a show, let them know you want me to do my stage show as well, because it's a lot of fun. So it's just a lot of great opportunities to get out there and meet all of you. We had some wonderful folks. I mean, we met, and there was another young man came up to us at ICCC, Jake, and he was just a wonderful young fella that talked about the impact Clone Wars had on his life and was brought to tears by getting to talk to us and say thank you and said that the show really saved his life. I think he was in a really low point, and that show meant something enough to really pull him out of that. And that, that's important. That's important. And it was his birthday over that. So Ashley got us all together and we sang happy birthday to Jake there at the show, and it was a lot of fun. And we just had a great time. So many people affected by the Clone Wars. And I'm affected by the Clone Wars. It's very rare as an actor to get to work on something that, all these years later, over a decade later, still is meaningful to people and can bring people to tears and can give people stories. I'm blessed to have actually several different franchises that I work in that are like that. Final Fantasy, I have the same thing. I have people that come up and tell me that. Ratchet and Clank, even, believe it or not, Johnny Test, totally awesome. People coming up and saying that show really got me through things. It really made me laugh. It's like, for me, it was Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny and stuff. For a lot of people, it's Johnny Test, or it's Ratchet and Clank, or it's Final Fantasy, or it's Clone Wars. So it really is fantastic to hear this from so many people, how much these shows have meant to them through the years and the work that I've been blessed to do and am grateful to do. So grateful for that. I can't thank you all enough. So many wonderful people and so many wonderful stories. A lot of people asking me about Star Wars Celebration, if I was going to be at it this year. I am not going to be at that this year. They did not extend a formal invitation. There was just one that came in this week, and it's only like 2 weeks from now, that was for one night from I think 6 to 10 o'clock, which is strange. I didn't even know it was going to be going on. But they asked me to come from 6 to 10 o'clock on one day during the whole thing. So it just wasn't going to work for my schedule to be able to do that. So I had to decline that offer. I wish I'd gotten an offer to be there for the whole event, but I didn't. But they have got a lot going on. There's a lot of people, and you're all going to have a wonderful time. So my thanks to all of you that asked if I was going to be going, but I'm not going to be able to make it this year. Maybe next year. Maybe next year they'll do like a big Clone Wars one or something, or next time they do it, I should say, because they don't do it every year. But anyways, my thanks, and that's that for Star Wars Celebration. But again, no worries. Maybe we'll catch them on the next one. God bless them, and I hope they have a wonderful time. But hey, let's take some of the reviews from Apple Podcast and read some of those, huh? Because this gives you all a chance. And let's bring in Bob. Hey, Bob. Oh, and dibbity-doo and doobity-dee, James, yes. How are you, Bob? Oh, I'm doing quite well. It sounds as though you've been having a wonderful time at the Comic-Cons and such. That's right, Bob. Hey, Hank left that device in here. Let me hit the button for a second and see what you sound like all pitched up here. Ready? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, and dibbity-doo and doobity-doo. Ooh, yes. Oh, I sound, now I sound a bit like Piglet, don't I? Let me turn it off. Hang on.
Yes, you did. And then what would you sound like really low? Let's go.
Oh, and dibbity-doo and doobity-dee. Oh, yes, let's read some comments and such. And ooh, boy, I sound like Mr. Announcer Guy now. Well, not entirely, but okay, let's put you back up.
Okay, there you go. That was fun. Just fun. I was just having fun, Bob. Oh, and doobity-dee and dibbity-doo, yes. Let's see. The reviews from the Apple Podcast. The first one is from Joshua-Fuss. Joshua-Fuss. Okay, what's Joshua-Fuss say? It says, JAT is awesome. Hey, let's get James over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you're not subscribed yet, go subscribe. Oh, well, thank you, Joshua-Fuss. Oh, and Night Wingerang says, I listen to this podcast every night after I discovered it. Always gives me something to look forward to. Well, that's great. Thank you. Oh, and Patatada Patata. Oh, yeah, what is that? Potadaada. Potada. I don't know. Oh, yeah, it says, really enjoy listening on my drive to and from work. Makes me smile, and I love learning all the behind-the-scenes details from shows he's worked on, as well as life lessons along the way. Well, thank you. This one is from Killer B94. Says, James Arnold Taylor gives the impression of being a wholesome and family-friendly person. Well, I certainly hope so. I try to, because that's what I try to be. Yeah, oh yes. And that it goes on to say, that's saying a lot considering we live in a time where we're so desensitized. Honestly, this podcast is a breath of fresh air. Oh, that's nice. I definitely enjoy the many voices he employs throughout the podcast, but the portion of the podcast I like the most is when he speaks to us about his personal experiences as a human being. This can range from giving us advice about relaxing and forgiveness, sharing entertaining stories he's collected throughout his career, and even discussing his connection with his faith. If anyone is going through a difficult time or simply needs a pick-me-up, give this podcast a try. Oh, well, that's very nice. Yeah, oh, yeah, indubitably, yes. And they say, it certainly helped me with learning how to relax and take it easy. The fact that this podcast is one of the cleanest podcasts I've come across is certainly a plus. Well, I try to make it as clean as possible because I know a lot of families listen together, so thank you for that. And, oh, yeah, and they say, so thanks for taking the time to record and edit these episodes. I know preparing these episodes takes a fair amount of time out of your busy schedule, so I really appreciate you doing this for the fans. You're a good guy. Well, thank you very much, Killer B94. What else we got there, Bob? Oh yeah, this is from Ben12342. James is truly an inspiration to all. This podcast will make you laugh, inspire you, and even make you think deeper on a variety of topics. Keep up the good work, James. God bless, and may the force be with you. Oh, well, thank you. Well, thanks, Bob, for sharing some of those. We want to look at some of the comments from the YouTubes and see from some of the last few episodes and see if anybody has any questions or comments. Oh, and DVD, we'll go to last episode, which was the other week. Yeah, that's right. A couple weeks ago. Episode 13, I think it was. Oh, yeah, yes. It says, Spidey Seth says, God bless, JAT. Good to see you. Hope you have a great week. I'd love to see you at a convention, but I don't have the money or time. Okay, well, then it's great that you listen to the podcast. That's great. Regardless, stay safe out there and keep up the faith. Also, you are my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, thank you. Azra Star says, the good old, that's good water always cracks me up, and I loved this crazy intro. Sometimes I forget this organized chaos is produced by only one man. Yeah, me too. The USA are too far from Western Europe, but I hope that everyone attending the next conventions, including you, JAT, will have fun. Remember to stay hydrated, folks. Well, thank you, Azura Star. I'm guessing Azura Star does not live in the States. Look at that. We this podcast covers all the world. It's amazing. It's really amazing how many people get to listen. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Oh, yes. Let's see. Debbie Prentice says, Hi, James. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad you and your Clone Wars family had a lovely time at the convention. I love the videos of Matt and Ashley dancing. It was so funny. Yeah, they like to dance. To be honest, the only way I would go to a Comic-Con would be to meet you. Oh, well, that's very nice, Debbie. I think you are a kind-hearted, sweet man who has made life so much more bountiful. I've never been to a Comic-Con before, and I'm kind of curious. I hope you get to come to a Scottish Comic-Con one day. So Debbie is from Scotland. Wonderful. I am Scottish mainly. Most of my DNA is Scottish and English DNA, so look at that. So just like that other Obi-Wan Kenobi. Have a wonderful time at Nashville and keep you and your loved ones safe. Lots of love and hugs across the pond. Well, thank you, Debbie. See, everybody from all over the world, Bob, listens to the James Arnold Taylor podcast. It's so exciting. Grogu the Mandalorian says, ooh, Grogu the Mandalorian, huh? You are a Daniel, JAT. Oh, okay. The last episode I was talking about voicing biblical characters, and I said I'd like to voice the character Daniel. Those of us who followed and admired you these many years all know that. P.S. Where might one find those biblical animations you've acted in? Well, okay, so several of them were, probably 20 years ago, so I wouldn't even know where to do those. But they were Bible lessons, they were animated Bible stories, they were animating some stories and such, and I got to do a lot of different ones there. But like I say, those are at least 20 years ago, so I don't even know where those would be now, where you would find them. And then another one was about 3 years ago, And it's for a film that has not yet come out yet. So I can't really say, and I don't know how much of me will be in it. But there you go. Oh, and doobity-dee and doobity-doo. This one is from XN Slays, XNSLAYZ. Yeah, what would you like? Exon Slays? Exon Slays. I don't know. Maybe that's how you say it. Sorry if we're pronouncing it wrong. Oh, yeah, sorry. Exon Slays says, "Hi, James. It was so awesome that me and my buddy got to meet you, Matt and Ashley, at Planet ComicCon. That was in Kansas City a couple weeks ago. Oh, yes. We also got to meet Phil. Phil Lamar, yes, the voice of Kit Fisto and Bail Organa and so many other, Samurai Jack, so many wonderful characters. It was wonderful to see Phil Lamar as well. Yeah, I was the one with the black and green Mandalorian helmet. You guys were my childhood, and I was honestly nervous when we were up next to get a picture with you guys. I have bad anxiety when meeting celebrities. I don't know why. That's okay. Look, people do get nervous about me. It's like, I get nervous meeting people that I've admired or have looked up to or that are famous at times. I've worked with so many people, but I still get it. It's like, okay, you just, you don't want to come off wrong. You don't want to say the wrong things. You don't want to be like, oh man, I was so stupid. I should have said this. We beat ourselves up, and you shouldn't, because you were great. I remember the black and green Mandalorian helmet. Oh, yeah, oh, yes. Also, you saying hello there in your Obi-Wan Kenobi voice was very cool. So for those of you that have not met me at a con, I like when people come up, I like to say, hello there, because that's what everybody's expecting now. And it tends to then calm everybody down and all that too. It's like, okay, it's good. We're going to have a fun time. Yeah, it says, when me and my buddy got done with getting the picture taken, I wished I got to talk to you guys a little bit longer, because I wanted to tell you guys how much you inspired me, and I grew up watching the Clone Wars. It was my all-time favorite show. I wanted to say thank you for letting us get a picture with you, Matt and Ashley. It still feels so unreal that I got to meet the Clone Wars voice actors for Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin, Ahsoka, and Kit Fisto. Well, I think that is awesome, X in Slays, and I'm thrilled that we got to meet you and have a good time. And don't worry, look, it's always kind of quick, especially with the photos. We don't get to kind of take the time with people that we like to with the photos, because they're just like, okay, next, and they got to get through as many of them as they can because they have a schedule to keep and all that. And there were so many wonderful people to meet. So I appreciate that, though, very, very much. Well, look, Bob, how we doing? I think we have time for a couple more comments and things here. Oh, and doobity-dee and deebity-doo. Apollo Music says, another amazing JATcast. Sadly, I can't attend the events, but I bet it will be awesome for everyone there. It was. They were awesome, and I'm sure there's more awesome ones to come. Oh, yes. He also says, if you could, my cousin's birthday is coming up on May the 4th. Well, we passed May the 4th, but that's right. May the 4th be with you. He's a huge Star Wars fan. If you could you wish him a happy birthday? I can't offer that much at his age of 17, but hearing Kenobi speak to him would be a perfect present. His name is Taylor, if you can. It's completely fine if you don't have the time. God bless and have a good one. Okay, Apollo Music? I hope I'm saying that right. Taylor's birthday was on May the 4th. Okay, well, I don't know if you're listening to this podcast now, but let's bring in old Obi-Wan. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Yes, James, I understand there's a birthday. Yes, May the 4th. May the 4th? Well, that's a good date for a birthday, isn't it? The Force must be strong with this one. Taylor, I understand you had a birthday on May the 4th. Now, be mindful of the 4th and the Force. Never go to the dark side, and it will be with you, always. Happy birthday, Taylor. Belated as it is. I blame James. No, thanks, Obi-Wan. Well, the show was, we didn't do a show between now and May the 4th, and so there you go. But there you go. I hope that's a good one, and thank you so much. Thank you, Bob, for reading some of those comments. Hey, you can always leave questions and comments on the YouTube channel or on my Instagrams, and we will possibly read them here on the show. So that's pretty doggone exciting, isn't it? I think so. I appreciate all of the comments. I appreciate all of the support and all of the help that you all have been to me and my family and my life and my career. Because I realize that I am only who I am because of, well, for one, namely God, Christ, of course. But as a professional working in the industry, I give all thanks to all of you that take the time to listen, and the fandom out there, people supporting the projects and the things that I'm involved in and such. Speaking of supporting projects and things that I'm involved in, a little update on the comic shop movie. is that we're still kind of waiting, trying to find funding, seeing if we can maybe just make the movie on our own. We don't know. So we're kind of stalled out to a degree because all the film companies are not willing to give us money. They all love the project, but nobody's willing to spend the money on it right now. So we're probably just going to have to do it ourselves. And that, we'll just have to see. I don't know exactly how we could, because it costs a lot of money to make a movie. And so I'm going to just do my best, see what I can do with my buddy Matthew Buds, and we'll just see what we can put together here soon enough. But keep supporting it if you can, spreading the word. If we can get more support and such, and subscribers to the Comic Shop on Twitter and Instagram, and we might even have a Facebook page, I think, now too. I'm not on Facebook at all anymore, so I don't know. But I'm coming back a little bit more to Twitter now, and I'm primarily on Instagram at JAT Actor, but you can follow us at the Comic Shop Movie as well. So look for that. Check us out. Give us a follow. The more folks that we get following us there, then the more opportunity we can say to companies that are looking to invest in the movie, look, we have a following. We have people interested. So that's the hope. And then also our hope would be to bring in fans, art, and perhaps animations and such. And so we want to involve all of you in that as well. So looking forward to getting a chance someday maybe to make this movie. But in the meantime, we just push forward with the podcast. And, there might be some other new projects coming up here soon that will be fun to see, get some announcements on. But really looking forward to a summer of fun stuff, and I hope and pray all of you are looking forward to a fun summer. And I will, throughout the summer, be providing you episodes that hopefully just encourage you and continue to push you to look at again. You have an opportunity. Every time something negative happens in your life, you have an opportunity to look at it as, oh my gosh, this is terrible, it's the end of the world, or this is an opportunity for me to grow and strengthen myself in new ways. And that's what I try to do. But I also say that understanding when things happen that are hard, they're hard. So part of it too, let's drink some water. Ooh. That's good water. Part of it too is grieving and taking it in and acknowledging the pain and the things that happen to us. My family, my brother and sister and I lost the man I grew up knowing as my father, who was their real father. And he passed away this last year from COVID, sadly. And when these things happen, you have to grieve them. I talked about losing my friend Tom Kell before, and thank you, by the way, for all of you that have listened to his music and stuff. I should play some more of it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to end this episode with another one of his songs. After the whole episode ends and I say goodbye, keep listening, because I'm going to play another one of my friend Tom Kell's songs at the end of it, okay? I mean, that'll be great fun. But throughout all of those, you have to grieve. You have to take it in, and then you have to see these are opportunities God is giving me to grow and strengthen and to be a better, deeper, more understanding person about life and death and joy and pain and suffering and patience and endurance and faith and grace and hope. Hope, 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 hope. We need hope. So just share with each other. If you have an accountability partner, somebody that you can really talk to, I have friends that I can talk to about the things that are hard. And you just talk about them and you go, this just hurts. And it helps you process them. I've also been a big advocate of therapy, talk therapy for years. My whole adult life, I've done talk therapy with therapists, and it's been so helpful for me. So I always recommend those things, along with mindfulness, taking in where you are right now, what you're feeling right now, how you're doing right now, deep breathing while you're doing all of that, knowing that it's going to be okay, that you're getting through, rather than going, I don't know what I'm going to do. Say, I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do as I have before. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to get through these rough parts. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to take this in and go, oh, I am building new muscles. Can you do that for me this week, throughout this next week? Can you take those opportunities and write them down, even journal your thoughts, even if you can, and say, what am I feeling? And then go, this is growth. This is learning. This is how we learn and grow. We take in life and all the things going on, and we stand our ground in what we believe, and we seek to know what we believe and why we believe it, and we want to know more than we want to know and not get offended by other people believing something differently than we believe and not fearing, okay? Nice big breath. Let's bring in Mr. Announcer Guy to close out the show. Hey, Mr. Announcer Guy!
Oh, yes, James.
Want to do that legal mumbo-jumbo?
Legal Mumbo Jumbo, here we go. Talking to Myself, the James Arnold Taylor Podcast is a production of Yumigo Inc., recorded at JAT Studios. Engineered, written, recorded, and produced by, you guessed it, James Arnold Taylor. All voices are parody and should be construed as entertainment only. All music and sound effects used with permissions and licenses through Backtracks, Digital Juice, Production Tracks, and Partners in Rhyme. James Arnold Taylor's Talking to Myself, the podcast. Copyright 2022, all rights reserved.
Thanks, dude.
You got it, dude.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the James Arnold Taylor Podcast. We will be back with another one. We go every other week here. So make sure that you have your little comments and things on the YouTubes and such, wherever you listen to the show. Thank you. And if you don't mind spreading the word and just telling others and sharing, find an episode that really meant something to you and share it with somebody this week. Oh, boy, would that mean a lot to me. Boy, would that make me smile. I'm praying for each and every one of you. I don't know that all of you believe the way I believe. In fact, I know that not all of you do. But I want you to know that in my belief and in my faith, I am praying for each and every single one of you for the best for your life, for good things, for success, for happiness, for goals to be reached, and incremental things each day to grow and see and change and know that you are making a difference in this life and that you're affecting other people. So I pray for all of us. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you get to breathe and listen and relax and drink some water and stay hydrated and all of that good stuff. Like I say, I'm going to close the show with another one of my friend Tom Kell's songs. Take a listen to it. Hope you enjoy it, and goodbye.
I was born with questions that never go away. I was born so full of doubts, it pains me to this day. Everybody tells me that they've all felt the same. But only on my knees alone does the conversation come. Only in a still small voice from God's own precious Son. Only at that moment I'll ask in Jesus' name. Do you love me like this? Do you feel me resist? Do you know my name? Can you feel my pain? Jesus, do you love me? Will you hold me at night? Will you point out what's right? Can you hear my voice? Teach me to rejoice. Jesus, do you love me? What about the sickness, the hunger and the strife? What about the heartaches that cut me like a knife? What about redemption? What about that glory? As if I worry my earthly life away. It's as if I know the truth but don't know what to say. Will you be here forever to help me bear this load? Could you love me like this? Can you feel me resist? Do you know my name? And could you feel my pain? Jesus, do you love me? Could you hold me all night? And could you point out what's right? Can you hear my voice and teach me to rejoice? Jesus, do you love me? And every time the arms of Jesus form a sweet caress, and even my teardrops are blessed. I was born with questions that never go away. Only in the arms of faith could I survive one day. Only through the mercy given in His holy name. So anytime I wonder if He still hears me at all, anytime I bow my head and let these teardrops fall, the blessed grace of Jesus forever comes to call. Oh, He loves me just like this, and He knows I resist. Still He knows my name, and He feels my pain. Oh, how He loves me. And He'll hold me all night, and He'll point out what's right. You can hear my voice, teach me to rejoice. Oh, how He loves me. Oh, how He loves